Hi everyone, my name is Ryan and welcome to Math with RG. Alright, today we're working on equations of linear functions, writing equations for parallel lines and for perpendicular lines. Alright, let's dive into it. And remember, I always say, when you're writing something down, say it out loud. You will build that retainment much faster, right? Because your eyes are seeing it, your mouth is moving, muscle memory, you got muscle memory in your hand, your ears are hearing it as well. Whatever you're trying to learn, write it down or do it at the same time that you're saying it out loud. Trust me, it works. Okay, here we go. Let's dive into it. By the way, I've been tutoring math since 2008 and I absolutely love helping my students. And now I want to help many more of you out there in the world. So let's get to it. Okay, so first question. It says, what does parallel lines mean visually and in equation format? Okay, so parallel lines mean that there are two lines and they are never ever going to touch. So they could look like this, they could look like this, they could look like this. So if we wanted to draw, just a really quick visualization, so you can see how those lines will never ever touch. Okay, so what does that mean in equation format? Well, it means they have to have the same slope. Okay? But different y-intercept. So remember, slope-intercept form, if you watched my last video, we have y equals mx plus b. The slope is m, and the b is the y-intercept. So, same slope, different y-intercept. For example, if I had y equals, let's say, 2x plus 3, and then y equals 2x minus 5. Those two lines would be parallel because they have the same slope, which is the number 2, and it's in the place of m, but they have different y-intercepts, right? So they're crossing the y-axis in different places. All right, so let's get to the very first question. Now, the very first question, what they want you to do is they want you to write a line, right? An equation of a line that is parallel to this line right here and runs through this point, 3, 7. Okay, so we always write down our equation of a line, y equals mx plus b. Now, equation of a line is the other name for slope-intercept form, basically. So, y equals mx plus b. Again, m is the slope, b is the y-intercept. So, what do I know at this moment? I know that I have to have a parallel line, right, to that equation, y equals negative 1/2 x plus 2. Well, what did we say about parallel lines? They have to have the same slope. So, I already know that my slope is going to be negative 1/2, right? So the m is going to be negative 1/2. And then it says that this has to go through this point, x comma y. So 3 7. Well, I have 4 variables, y, m, x, and b. I know 3 of them right now. I know the m is going to be negative 1/2 because it's got to be the same slope. And then I know my y is going to be 7 and my x is going to be 3. So all I have to do is just plug everything in to find the y-intercept. So we have 3 equals negative 1/2 times x. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. See, we all make mistakes sometimes. Remember, the y is 7. So 7 equals negative 1/2 times the x, which is 3, plus b. Okay, so now we have 7 equals negative 1/2 times 3. I just do top times top, bottom times bottom. So I get negative 3 over 2, right? Because this is really 3 over 1, because 3 divided by 1 is still 3. So I did negative 1 times 3, that's negative 3, and then I did 2 times 1, and that is 2. Okay, and now we have plus b. So now I have to get the b by itself, so I will add the 3 over 2, because I have to do the opposite, right? It's negative 3 over 2 plus b. We're not multiplying anything. So to get the negative 3 over 2 to the other side, I have to add it, right? So this will cancel out, and I add the 3 over 2. But now the problem is I have 7 plus 3 over 2. Well, I can't do that. I have to have the same denominator. So in order to have the same denominator, I have to find the lowest common denominator. Well, since my two denominators are 1 and 2, because we have 7 over 1, right? We have 7 over 1, and then we have 3 over 2. So I'm just going to make that 1 a 2. How do I get there? I'm multiplying by 2. So that means that I'm multiplying the top by 2 as well. So I get 14 over 2. Well, what is 14 divided by 2? That's 7. Remember, all fractions are division problems. So 14 divided by 2 is still 7, so I did not change the value. And then we have the plus 3 over 2, and that's going to equal our b. So let's finish it over here. We have 17 over 2 is equal to b. And so now I just have to write the final equation. So we have y equals, we have the same slope, right? So the negative 1/2 x, and then our b right here, plus 17 over 2. This right here is our final answer, right? Write an equation in slope-intercept form that is parallel to this equation up here. We have the same slope, negative 1/2, negative 1/2, but we have different y-intercepts. The first one is 2, the second one is 17 over 2. Alright, let's move to the next example. So the next example says, what does perpendicular lines mean visually and in equation format? Perpendicular means that we're forming a right angle, okay? So if you were to draw them, it's literally just going to look like this, okay? So that's perpendicular. So for the equation format, it has to have what's called negative reciprocal slope. Okay, so what does that mean? Negative reciprocal slope. Alright, so let's say, for example, I had a slope of negative 3/4, and I want the perpendicular slope. Upside down T is the symbol for perpendicular. So negative reciprocal. So negative means that whatever it was, we just do the other sign. So since it started at negative, right, if I multiply by a negative, I'll get a positive. And then reciprocal just means that I flip it over. So it would just be 4/3. Okay, so now all we have to do is figure this out, right? We want a perpendicular slope equation compared to this one right here. So we have to find the perpendicular slope first, right? We started at 2/5, negative reciprocal. I know because it started at positive, it will be negative. And then we just flip it over, 5/2. Now we do the same thing that we did last time, right? We know that we're going to be in y equals mx plus b format. So I'm going to plug everything in. 5 is our y, right? Because remember, this is x comma y. So 5 is our y. Our slope is negative 5 over 2 times our x, which is 3, plus our b. Okay, so let's multiply it out. So we have 5 equals, we have negative 5 times 3, so that's negative 15 over, really it's 3 over 1, right? So we have 2 times 1, so that's 2 plus b. Okay, so now we have to get b by itself, right? Negative 15 over 2 plus b. So we have to add the 15 over 2 to both sides. Right, and we're running into that same problem again, right? I have to have the same denominator, and I don't. The denominator right now is 2 and 1, so it's going to be 2. So I'm going to multiply each thing by 2. So the 5 changes to 10 over 2, right? What's 10 divided by 2? That's 5. So I didn't change the value. Plus the 15 over 2 equals b. So now I'm going to have 25 over 2 equals b. And now I can write my final equation. Y equals the perpendicular slope, right, to 2/5 is negative 5 over 2 times the x, and then my b was 25 over 2, so plus 25 over 2. And that's it for today's lesson on parallel lines and perpendicular lines. Thank you so much. See you on the next one. Great job on finishing today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, tell your friends and family. And if you want to dive deeper into chapter test work, you can check out my Skool platform, skool.com. The link will be in the bio below. And if you want more information on one-on-one tutoring, you can check out my website, rgtutors.com. Thank you again, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye for now.